What is the spiritual dream meaning of birds? At 18 years old, a bus crushed Frida Kahlo's body. The injuries were catastrophic. By all accounts, she should have died.
Her spine was completely shattered. Her pelvis cracked in 3 different places. And a steel handrail. It impaled her, driving straight through her hip. The doctors gave her no chance. But Frida dreamed of birds.
So there she was, trapped for months in a body cast, just staring at the ceiling. And she painted, canvas after canvas, filled with hummingbirds, with doves, with blackbirds perched on her broken body like they were guardians. You know, in her most famous self-portrait, there's a dead hummingbird hanging from her throat. And this wasn't just some morbid detail. In Mexican folk tradition, a dead hummingbird was a love charm, a powerful talisman against being abandoned. That bird wasn't decoration, it was a lifeline.
You see, Frida wasn't just making art. She was decoding her own dreams. Her psyche, her unconscious mind was screaming at her, "You are not finished. Rise." And she listened. She lived for another 35 years. Frida was forced to listen to her unconscious. Now it's your turn, because your unconscious is asking you some pretty hard questions right now. Why is it that birds seem to show up in your dreams right when your life is at its most turbulent?
And why does that image, the image of a bird, feel like it carries so much more weight, more importance than just any other dream symbol? What is your unconscious mind literally trying to hand you when it sends a winged creature into your dreamscape?
And really think about this. Why might ignoring that message be the single most costly mistake of your entire inner life?
Let's get one thing straight. Your unconscious does not waste its effort. It doesn't send you random noise to fill the time. A vivid bird dream is an urgent dispatch from the very deepest part of you. So while your waking mind might just see decoration, just random noise, or some vague metaphor, what your unconscious is actually sending is intelligence. It's a targeted dispatch. It's using a precision instrument. In Jungian psychology, birds are incredibly ancient symbols. Think about where they live. They occupy this unique territory, the air. They are the bridge between the earth below and the sky above. This is the domain of what Jung called the spirit archetype. And look, this has nothing to do with religion. This is about the raw, fundamental human experience of something that exists beyond our bodies, something beyond our rational, everyday minds. So when a bird appears in your dream, it means your psyche is invoking that powerful archetype. Full stop. It is pointing directly at something your waking mind refuses to look at. And here's the tragedy. Most people completely miss this. They wake up, they make coffee, and they walk right past the single most important message they're going to receive all week. Your dreams aren't a hobby. They're a survival system. And here's why these dreams matter so much. The spirit archetype is not optional. You can't just defer it like a bill. Every single psyche has a deep structural need to connect with something beyond just ego and day-to-day survival. And when that need goes unmet, your unconscious doesn't just go away quietly. No, it escalates. It starts sending you more birds. Birds trapped in cages. Birds flying into violent storms. Birds falling dead from the sky. It will get louder and louder and louder until you finally pay attention.
Frida Kahlo got it. She understood. Because unbearable pain stripped away every single one of her other options. She couldn't run. She couldn't hide. She was forced to face the birds. But you have an advantage. You don't have to wait for a catastrophe to force you to listen. So, the only question that matters now is this. What is your unconscious trying to tell you tonight?
Part 2. All right, let's get one thing straight. Forget those flimsy fortune cookie dream dictionaries. We're talking about direct, unfiltered communications from the deepest, most powerful parts of your psyche. Because that's exactly what they are. These aren't just pretty symbols. They are urgent psychological signals, and they demand your attention. Ignoring them doesn't make the underlying condition go away. It just gets louder.
So, first up, we're going to look at the dreams that act as diagnostic tools. These are the signals that reveal the raw, unvarnished truth about your inner life right now.
You dream of a bird trapped in a cage. Look,
This isn't just some sad little image. This is your will, your initiative, your creative fire, your animus being imprisoned. It's being actively suppressed by an external force, whether that's a soul-crushing job, a toxic relationship, or a belief system you've long outgrown. This is not an invitation to feel sorry for yourself. It is a demand from your unconscious. It's telling you to identify what's holding you back and to dismantle it. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Now for a completely different kind of signal, a bird singing or calling out to you, this is one of the most urgent, positive messages you can possibly get. It means yourself, that core of your inner wholeness, is trying to speak to you directly. A message is coming through loud and clear. And that song, it is not background noise. The feeling it evokes is a direct order. Follow it. It's pointing you toward the very thing you've been putting off for far too long. It's an instruction. Seeing a dead bird in a dream can be really jarring, I know. But listen to me. It is not a tragedy, it's a confirmation. Your unconscious is telling you, flat out, that something, a belief, a relationship, an old version of you, is already over. It has completed its cycle. Your psyche has moved on. Now your conscious mind just needs to get the memo. So what are you still desperately trying to keep alive that's already gone? Your psyche is giving you clearance. This dream is your permission slip to finally let go. Grieve it, release it, and move on. All right, we're shifting gears. These next dreams, they aren't just diagnostic, they are confrontational. This is where you come face to face with your real power and with the parts of yourself you've been stuffing down into the dark, your shadow. A bird of prey, a hawk, an eagle, an owl, appears in your dream. This means the hero archetype is active inside you, right now. This is the part of you with razor-sharp precision, with incredible vision, with decisive power. It's your ability to see the entire chessboard and make the winning move. But let me be absolutely clear. This dream is not a pat on the back. It is a correction. It is a direct challenge from your psyche telling you that you are operating below your actual capacity. Adjust your flight path. Now this one can be terrifying. A bird attacking you, its meaning is absolutely critical. That attacking bird is not some external enemy. That bird is you. Specifically, it's the denied, abandoned, and shamed parts of your own psyche, and they've come back for you. And you better believe the ferocity of that attack is directly proportional to how much you've suppressed it. So you have to ask yourself, what parts of me did I cut off to fit in? My ambition? My anger? The way out isn't to fight the bird. It's to ask it what it wants and bring that quality back into your life. To integrate. Okay, let's pull the camera back, way back. Because some dreams connect us to forces that are much bigger than our own personal story. These are messages from the collective unconscious. You dream of a flock of birds. This isn't chaos, it's coordinated, powerful movement. It means you're in a major life transition, and you are not in it alone. You're tapping into a larger current of change, a greater momentum. But you have to pay close attention here. The dream isn't just telling you that you're in a transition. It's giving you the direction. The way that flock is headed, that is your instruction. Which way are they going? And speaking of direction, let's talk white bird versus black bird. The contrast is everything. A white bird signals resolution. The inner conflict is ending. Trust the process. A black bird, though, is a test. It's a threshold guardian. It's not a warning to stop. It's a test of your nerve right before a significant change. It's daring you to cross. And this brings us to our final two dream types. These aren't about diagnoses or confrontation anymore. These are signals for creation and alignment. This is about the path to becoming fully yourself. And these two often show up in a sequence. First, the call to build the nest. This is about creating the structure, doing the work required for something new and fragile to be born. Then you get the confirmation, the dream of flying. This means you are in alignment. You are on the right path. And you have to remember this. The dream of flying isn't wish fulfillment. It is your psyche confirming that the choices you have recently made are correct. It is a direct signal from your deepest self that you are on track. So whatever you're doing, do more of it. Double down.
Part 3. All right, we are done with theory. This is about action. It's about what you're going to do with all this, starting right now.
And here's the bottom line. Every single day you wait, every day you put this off, is just another day your life is running on old, busted programming. So let's change that.
Okay, first tool up. This is for you if you're an analytical thinker, someone who needs structure. And let's be clear, this is not journaling. Think of it more like forensic self-examination. You are collecting hard data on your own psyche.
The process is simple. It's also non-negotiable. You get a notebook, not your phone, a notebook, and you put it by your bed. The second you wake up from a bird dream, you write it down. I mean, instantly. What was the bird? What was it doing? How did you feel? And what's been going on in your life for the last 48 hours? You do this for 30 days. No excuses. Then, and only then, do you sit down and read every single entry in one go. Trust me, the pattern that shows up, it will be staring you right in the face.
Look, without this data, you are navigating your own inner life completely blind. And that is how women end up a decade into the wrong life, wondering how the hell they got there. All right, next up, application 2. This is for the creatives, the women who process through art or writing. It's called active imagination dialogue. This was Jung's own secret weapon, really. It's all about giving a voice to that part of you that doesn't speak in logical sentences.
So after you have a bird dream, you sit down and you have a literal, actual conversation with the bird from that dream. You can write it or speak it. Ask it your question. Then you write or speak the bird's answer. The number one rule here, and this is everything, is you do not censor, analyze, or judge what comes out. You just let it flow.
Why does this work? Because this practice is a direct line that bypasses all your excuses and your avoidance tactics. It brings up the decisions you've already made but have been too afraid to own. Avoidance is expensive, you know? This just cuts right through all that.
Application 3. This one's for the woman who has to move to think, who processes things physically. We're going to use your body as a sensory bridge, a direct link between the dream world and this one.
And this isn't some gentle meditative walk, okay? It's a tool. After a bird dream, you get outside, start walking, point your gaze slightly upward toward the sky, no earbuds, no distractions, just you, the dream image held in your mind, and your body moving. And then you notice what thoughts bubble to the surface when you're in motion.
Here's the key. Your body holds information that your conscious mind is an expert at deflecting. So, women who ignore this channel, they are literally cutting themselves off from half their available intelligence. Don't make that mistake.
Okay, application 4. Now, if you're having aggressive or disturbing bird dreams, we're talking attacking birds, dying birds, you need to listen up. This one is not optional. This is for the woman who is ready to stop running. This is non-negotiable.
I want you to take out a piece of paper, and at the very top, you're going to write this question down. This is your shadow integration audit, and it's basically a ruthless self-inventory. It requires brutal, unflinching honesty.
And under that question, you just start listing it all. Everything you gave up to be acceptable. The ambition you softened, the anger you swallowed, the desires you abandoned because they weren't practical, the beliefs you hid so you wouldn't rock the boat. You see that attacking bird in your dream? It's made of all of this stuff you've been pushing down. Because that unintegrated shadow material, it doesn't just stay put. It doesn't disappear, no. It bleeds into your decisions. It bleeds into your relationships. It bleeds into your health. You have to deal with it now, period.
Application 5. The symbolic environment audit. Your physical surroundings. They are constantly shaping your inner life, whether you realize it or not. So this tool, it uses that connection as a lever. It's a two-step process. First, you walk through your living space and you notice all the bird imagery on the walls, on pillows, whatever, and you ask, are they caged or are they free? Are they vibrant or are they dull? Then, step 2, you make one single deliberate change. You add an image of a bird in open, powerful flight to a space you see every single day.
You have to understand, you are shaping your unconscious every single day through your environment. That's happening whether you do it consciously or not. So the only real question is, are you going to let it be random or are you going to take the wheel? Do it consciously.
Okay, last one. Application 6, the threshold decision test. This is for the woman at a crossroads, stalling on a big decision. If you're dreaming of birds in transition, migrating, taking flight, that means your unconscious has already registered you're at a critical threshold, a tipping point.
So this isn't about visualizing your best life. This is a direct confrontation with consequences. I want you to take the job, leave the relationship, begin the work, whatever it is. And then ask yourself this, 5 years from now, which woman can you live with? The one who crossed the threshold or the one who stayed put?
which one can look herself in the mirror.
And then you give yourself a hard deadline. Decide by Friday. Not next month, not when you feel ready, Friday. Why? Because these thresholds, these windows your unconscious is pointing to, they don't stay open forever. They have a real actual closing time, and you do not want to miss it.
You know, Frida Kahlo didn't survive on talent alone. She survived because she listened. She listened to the images her psyche sent her, those brutal, gorgeous, terrifying images, and she acted on them. That was her power.
The thing is, you don't have to be on the brink of death to finally start listening. You don't need that level of crisis.
But what if you're closer to a different kind of death than you realize? A death of purpose. What if you're closer to losing the life you were meant to live? The message is clear. The dreams are not random. The birds are not random. The instruction is simple. Listen, and then act.